So I'm here with Carl Kuster. If you don't know him already, he is the owner of CKMP, which is a guiding lodge out of Sycamoose, British Columbia, and he also has a lot to do with the development of the mountain turbo sleds that we all love. So Carl, tell me a little bit about why this package is so responsive, so powerful, and is easy to ride.
Well, there's a lot of technology as far as how they're monitoring how the engine's running actually. So we've had temperature probes in the pipes before. This is new. This is a pressure sensor. So they have pressure sensor on the exhaust side and also on the intake side. And they can monitor the pressure on both sides of the engine, both sides of the turbo, and then they electronically control the wastegate. So, and this is the wastegate in here, and if you actually, an important part is the shape of the wastegate. So if you see how it's kind of triangulated and narrow at the top?
Yeah.
So when it opens up a little bit, and this is why this thing is so, it has the drivability that it does, is because of the shape of that, rather than just being a round hole and dumps all the pressure, where it triangulates and it's small, it'll just dump a small bit of pressure, and it's progressive at how it dumps the extra boost when you don't need it, or the extra pressure inside the exhaust. So, and on the intake side as well. This doesn't do the intake side, but that it just equalizes it. So.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And how about the airbox? That's another key part of the response, right?
Yeah, so you have normal airbox here. This run goes to the intake side of the turbo, and then it goes through the compressor wheel and into the airbox. But also right here, at very low RPM, or when there's no pressure in the exhaust, to have good throttle response, this thing acts like it's naturally aspirated for a split second. So not always, but if it's right at a dead idle and you smack it wide open, it'll breathe through the bypass valve, because the engine needs a big gulp of air. And as soon as the air goes through the engine, comes through the exhaust, builds pressure in the turbo, then the impeller speeds up, pressurizes the airbox, and away you go. And it happens really in a fraction of a second.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't even notice it.
And that's and that's really the magic of why they control the wastegate electronically, is because the temperature pressure sensor on both sides of the engine, and you could not do it without that system. So
interesting.
it's really it's little simple pieces, but how they work together in unison is pretty extraordinary.
And how about the positioning of the turbo? Because aftermarket turbos, they hang down right here, you know, the actual compressor is down here, so why is it up at the end of the pipe?
Well, it's important to have the turbo up here. It's a nice short charge tube per se.
Yeah.
And it's also very close to the silencer or the stinger on the exhaust or on the tune pipe. So you get the fastest reaction time here, and also it centers the turbo. So that helps for the balance of the machine.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
This is a super cool piece to kind of dissect and check out.
It really is.
As
I
you
wish
can
I had
see.
one of these on my kitchen table.
Right? Make this a table.
I'll just take this.
Think you can fit that in your check-in?
Yep, I'm sure I can.
Cool. Well, I will see you later this winter, hopefully. Thank
Awesome.
you for your time.
You bet.